Hello, and welcome to another game of Fury of Dracula. This is my semi-finals game, my first semi-finals game against Arternum. We have the Hunters, and we are going with our classic Oktoberfest start. I'm just going to skip forward to wait for Arternum to decide where to start. Okay, here we are. And we are beginning the supply train. And it starts with a consecrated ground, a stake and a dog. That's pretty good. I like drawing consecrated ground. Yeah, very, very happy for that. Tickets, obviously. Do we trade? Might as well give Seward the dog and the stake. We don't have to, but sure. Tickets. Okay. We will skip ahead if we're waiting for that. Okay. And Dracula has all formed. Okay. Not sure where he's all formed to or from. Quite hard to know. But I didn't draw hired scouts round one, so this isn't invalidating my searches. Okay, and we have behind the veil, fog, wolves, reckless, and one more mob. Two fogs, a wolves, a reckless, and a mob. Obviously, we're chucking away the fog. And we'll take a note of these other encounters. But I know I always write down what, like when I draw behind the veil, I always write it down. But normally it doesn't matter. Like you can't rely that he's not going to draw hoax with a replacement of behind the veil. I don't know. You make and like the mob and the wolves have a high chance of just being led. So the white one, that's nice. A second white one, that's also nice. And we trade with Lord Darwin to take the white one off him. His items are suck, but we get the ticket economy back immediately, so we should. Or we could sit here and think about it. There we are. So in case you can't tell, I'm looking back on the recording, having been I don't know, embarrassingly, it's only like a few days, and I still can't remember what happened. I mean, I suppose this is completely inconsequential, right? You know, what do we trade in round two? I suppose it's not too embarrassing to not remember. Yeah, it's hard to work out where to put things. Like, I don't think that makes any sense at all. But I see, because Lord Gawain has sense of emergency, so we want to leave him with a holy circle of mistake for now, because he has sense of emergency, right? Yes, he has sense of emergency. So we're looking to get a horse and put it on Seward, or trade around with sense of emergency to Seward. Yeah, but for at least for now, just 100% supply during day, 100% tickets or ticket efficiency at night. So trading with log it down doesn't reduce our ticket efficiency. Okay, so there's no misdirect. So I mean, we just don't know where it is. It could be anywhere. It's probably not England. Yeah, I would think that you would always misdirect if you were starting in Britannica, just because there's not enough space. Escape route. I like escape route. You know, I can now search without a stake and not die to a vampire. I probably wouldn't die, but I can't get battered into a pair of vampires and die. That's the last white one. Oh, I love having good tickets. We only need a horse now. We've got all of these all of these tickets and 0 horses, but that's okay. Yep, just improve these tickets. We've got far too many weapons on Steward. That's not too bad. Events. Look down his blood transfusion, exactly that. Seward has 2 spare slots. Do I need to move sense of emergency around? Not yet. I can do that like next turn if I need to or if I want to. But I don't need to take tickets, so I guess I'll take sense of emergency. There's nothing else to do. And yeah, move consecrated ground later in the initiative order kind of makes sense as well. We're not playing hypnosis. Do we want to trade? Or can we just improve tickets? We just improve tickets, surely. Let's do a trade next time. I mean, Seward doesn't have a bad item anymore. But equally, with only 1 bad item, and Mina just happens to have it, so yeah. I agree with past me. Take a ticket now. Yep, we still have no idea where Drac is. We could hope for newspaper reports. It'd be lovely. Or a scout so we could check Spain. Holy Circle Garlic, that can all go in the bin. We definitely don't need 2 Holy Circles. And a newspaper report. Look down, you have had the best draws. Round 1 Consecrated Ground. Round 4 newspaper reports. And it's Varna. Okay. So where do you wolf form to Varna? I think the wolf form kind of makes sense, right? Like you can say that 6 is a better location to lair from than 50. So yeah, if we put our starting location in 6, then and also if hunters don't flip over the starting location, there's ambiguity as to where it is, right? Like the lair could be in when he returns to his lair on round 6. It could be 6, it could be 49, it could be 55, it could be 46. Realistically, we are moving Seward and we're going to sense of emergency him to 56. Van Helsing is holding sense of emergency currently. Given that we've got newspaper reports so early, the sooner we get Seward to the trail, the sooner his wonderful night actions become relevant. Okay. So presumably he's gone Varna, Constanta, Bucharest. He might have hidden in 17. But if I search Bucharest, then I find out whether he's hidden in 17. If I incorrectly assume that the next location is Constanta and it's in fact Sofia, firstly that would feel a bit insane, but if that did happen, I'm going to have time to fix my mistake. And where's the lair location? The lair location is Belgrade. Nice, guessed it correctly. Yeah, and unfortunately Stewart has left with 3 weapons and a stake. I'm fine with him leaving without a horse, right? Like he can, I don't know, if he can use Lucky Find to pick up the last horse. Once I've picked up the other horses. But going with 3 weapons, it would be a bit better to have given him, I don't know, 2 weapons and a heavenly host, or gun bullets or something. So next turn, Seward sends emergency to Varna, and doesn't search because he needs to heal after playing Sense of Emergency. Maybe he does search so that he can next turn supply. Yeah, he does search so that if it eats his stake, he can supply and heal. We don't need 2 stakes here because like Seward already has one, so 1 stake is probably good enough. Definitely getting 2 holy bullets. Also, what do? Right, we go to the start of the trail, and we do not get ambushed. And Seward's also, he can't be misdirect assassinated here. But even if he searches and goes down to low hit points, Dracula can't walk onto him and kill him. He also has the escape route, so he is just invincible. We don't need this newspaper reports. Like the next space is Constanta, because obviously. You might as well search. Oh, you should have searched in case I ate your steak. What? What if this is a hoax? Then you would have searched of your steak, and then you would have got to supply during day and heal at night. We're trading because we might as well. We have more. We have perfect tickets on Van Helsing, so. Planned ambush, Bludgeon. I guess we'll take the planned ambush of local town. Yeah. The trouble is Van Helsing is sticking on 2 events because I want him to hold on to CG, and I want him to hold on to excellent weather in case he wants to use it to move across the channel. So he doesn't want to take any events off other people, so he can't move events between other people. Which probably means I shouldn't be having him hold on to CG currently. I should let someone else hold on to that for now. So we're just going to day search because he believes that the first location is going to either be he's going to day search without his stake. If it's a vampire, that's fine. If it's a fighter vamp, that's fine. You search it in day. Might even kill it in the day combat. Probably not, but you know. Losing the bullets. Yeah, I suppose we want to keep a stake. We haven't seen any of the tokens yet. Second planned ambush and log it out. I mean, that's starting to become a problem. We don't use a stake. Okay, it's bodyguards. That's fine. We have a small arsenal to show him. Now, which item do we show him? And also, why can't we make this decision much quicker so that he doesn't know that I have an actual decision to make here? We show a knife. But we took far too long, so now he knows that I have more than one weapon. Presumably. Okay, Dracula's now moved 2 spaces from Bucharest, hasn't gone through Belgrade. Yeah, and we can move, we can have excellent weather, we can supply. Local boomers, ideal. Just what we needed. Really? You're keeping Holy Circle with bullets? I mean, I don't really want you, like, it doesn't really matter what I keep, because whatever I'm keeping, I'm going to discard when I draw some horses. But still. And the not choosing to search of Seward in the first instance didn't make any difference because we just push. Yeah, now we've realised that we need to make space so that we can trade with other people. So we're pushing consecrated ground to Seward. Even though ultimately I'd prefer it on Van Helsing, I need to make space so that I can pass events backwards and forwards. Yeah, I'm trading because I've got nothing else to do. He can't yet be in Germany. Yeah, and the Holy Circle is the thing I want least out of this stuff. So, passing that off to Lord Damien, who's most likely to draw a horse. Okay. And Dracula should presumably be returning to Belgrade now. Like, he didn't layer the location. He didn't mislayer the location. Now is the time to get value from it. But he doesn't. We're not using Newspaper reports. It's obviously Constanta. I say obviously. It might not be, but like it's Constanta, right? Like, I'm willing to gamble, but it's Constanta. Ideally, we get ambushed, but I suspect we're not going to be. Good. Hold on, a mistake for Vampire Lair. Don't need a crucifix. Rufus. Now to search or to ally? I know he started in Bucharest and has moved 3 spaces. A single search would tell me a lot, but I haven't got supplies in return. And based on the position of my hunters, he's leaving Austria-Hungary by sea. So he's leaving the east via the sea. So yeah, let's take him that way. It's soil. Okay. We're not dealing with that. That was a colossal waste of our time going to that location and searching it. But what else are we doing with our time? We spent our time checking that it wasn't a hoax, or I guess a vampire. And I'm happy to spend the stake on a hoax or an aristocratic just to give myself a day action to supply. Might draw through the horse. Right, now we trade and we have to work things out here. Is Lord Downing drawing an event? Yes, Lord Downing is about to draw an event. So we take the blood transfusion off him. Just so we hold slightly more events in our hand. Yep, once again we trade because why not? We take the knife. I like having a knife on Mina. Good. Okay, Dracula has wolf formed, and he also still hasn't gone through Belgrade. Okay, so he's moved 3 times from Bucharest, and isn't wolf formed. He could have gone 50, 49, 59, and wolf formed over our heads. Or he could have gone 28, 11, 58. We need to figure that's nice. 28, 11, 58, and all formed over our heads. Or 28, 53, 59, and all formed over our heads. And this is all, we know all of this because Belgrade is still a lair, which he hasn't been through. If he hasn't done either of those 3 paths, then his wolf form has not got them past Munich. Steward moves. He is in charge of the trail, at least for now. We should probably move. Yeah, it's now awkward though. I don't want Van Helsing to draw a horse. I would kind of prefer the other three to draw horses, and for Van Helsing to just stand in Paris or Brussels. Is it Brussels? Is 9 Brussels? I think 9 is Brussels. Yes, 9 is Brussels. I'd prefer him not to draw a horse, but I also want him to discard his stake, because he's not going to stake a vampire. He's far away from all the vampires, unless Drax will fund over their heads, in which case I'm having him to keep a stake. But really, to be honest, I'd rather he discarded it. But I want him to. I don't want to supply with him because he might draw a horse. But I do want to supply with him so that he drops a stake. It's a mob. Yep, that's a mistake. You should have discarded a rifle, because at the start of next turn I'm going to realise that I want Seward's supply so that he can pick up a horse. And there's 2 horses out of the remaining 4 items in the deck. And if he's supplying, he might as well discard an item. Okay, Dracula is going to heal from the desecrated soil, I presume. He didn't lair 56, so this wolf form could be to 56. But that doesn't really make sense unless I learn that he didn't move 3 spaces west before wolf forming. It doesn't really make sense to go Bucharest 28, 53, 59 and then wolf form and clear the lair in 56, because you should have a lair in 56. Well, I cleared the bodyguards that were there and you got to lair it, but he's cleared that lair, or he didn't make that lair, which means maybe he didn't move 3 spaces west, which I'd be very happy with. Maybe I'm going to learn that he will formed from somewhere that can get to 56. I'm not willing to assume that yet. Like, currently I'm highly concerned about the possibility that he has gone to 59 and wolf formed over me and is now eyeing up Spain. Not concerned enough to have a psychic scan last turn. But what does a psychic scan even do? Right, it rules out one of the 4 locations he could use to jump over me. And it's presumably the one that he doesn't go to, because he knows I can psychic scan easily. And I wanted to trade to get the horse in Mina. So there's 2 horses left in the deck. We let Desecrated Soil go, he heals up to 15, that's fine. And Dracula has wolf formed potentially out of east. I'm thinking I don't use newspaper reports to tell me where Seward goes next turn. Because if I use it the turn after, let's say Dracula's gone, say, 50, 49, 59. Next turn, I don't use newspaper reports. Everyone supplies. The turn after, I use newspaper reports. It says 49, and I know that the then 6th location is 50, because that's the only way he could have got to 49. And then Lorgadami or Mina can be in charge of 49, or even if it's like 55, I can say Lorgadami and Mina, that's 2 turns for you to get there. That's a you problem. Seward is taking 50 and might get delayed in doing so. Seward still has far too many weapons. Still has his stake. We should be expecting a reckless vampire sometime soon. Like, he had one in his starting hand. Yeah, we're still... right. Dracula's played his wolf form, and we have consecrated ground. So if we can find him, he's in a lot of trouble. If we can find him not on the coast, he's in a lot of trouble. Let's say if we just spontaneously learned that Drax's an 11, then he is very toast, because we have the CG to punish him. And that's the rumor token. Okay. We're not spending Renewed Vigor that we just drew, because Renewed Vigor is a very good card. And we have no idea where Dracula is. We're not spending newspaper reports. Nice, good draw. There is 1 horse left and 1 heavenly host left, I believe, in the deck. A money trail. That's a good card, not getting rid of that. It's excellent weather or planned ambush. I'm not losing money trail, not when I have CG, and not even if I didn't have CG. Not losing Renewed Vigor, obviously. We want the horse, and there's still a heavenly host, and I'm happy with picking up a heavenly host. I think there's still a heavenly host. No, there isn't heavenly host. There's some other useless item. We have all of the heavenly hosts. We have all of the horses. There's an event on top. Now in what are we? Okay, we can supply. Supplying is good. But like, we have all of the good cards already. I mean, apart from Forewarned. Like, we've got Rufus in play. We have Consecrated Ground. We have Renewed Vigor. We have Hypnosis. We have Money Trail. This is enough. The game is won. We don't need to supply. Vampire there is nice. I mean, useless or Draxon zero influence, but yep, let's improve the economy. Ugh, these events. Logodowmin is going to move next turn. In fact, basically everyone is moving next turn. So we're going to take the newspaper reports so that we end up with the space. So that when we supply as Van Helsing, we don't go over hand limit. Because the newspaper reports has been spent next turn. We're gonna reveal which direction Dracula went. If we don't need to trade, I guess we can psychic scan like we should have done last turn. Yeah, shocker, he's not in Germany. And Dracula Dark Calls. Okay. Didn't see that one coming. And it's Sophia Hyde. Okay, problem. If that's like hoax bats, then Seward can't stop it. Good news. Dracula now can't have all formed over Mina and Lord Godalming because he didn't use his 3 moves to get adjacent to Lord Godalming and Mina. So the most left he can be is Sophia Hyde 49, all form to 58, move to 44. That's the closest he can be to slipping the net currently. But this Sophia Hyde could be a problem. Like if Lord Godalming or Mina had sense of emergency, I would this would be easy. Use it immediately. But we've already spent our sense of emergency. Seward had that earlier. So with the knowledge that I had watching this back, I realised that Mina could have moved to 59 last turn at almost 0 cost. Like there's 100% going to be trail in the eastern direction that she might want to pick up and clear. Might. I suppose not necessarily. If Drac had gone with 50, 49, 59, then I would actually want Mina to jump to 49 and Seward to go 50, 59. So there would have been some cost there. Okay. I believe this is a good decision. The game is so winning at this point. Drax on 13 hit points. Rufus is in play. Okay, you went to Sarajevo next. My horse economy is pretty damn good. Can I have Lord Godalming stake this before he leaves? I'm going to have Mina deal with the other one. Mina rolls slow, it completely invalidates the point of renewed vigor, but that's okay. Right, but discussing the decision to play renewed vigor. The ball position is entirely winning. Drac has achieved no successful counterplay. Dracula has not wolf formed over our heads, so he's still stuck in the east and is going to have to leave through Rufus. And he's already only on 13 hit points. And the Belgrade information means that his trail is somewhat restricted. However, if Sophia is a hoax with bats on top, then I might just lose the game if I don't spend any vigor. So fearing that it's a hoax with bats on top, I rest first, because if I get ambushed by bats, I lose my other action anyway. Or ambushed by saboteur, I think would be the actual reason. We're not ambushed. Okay, great. Mian doesn't need to roll well on her sort of horses now. Right. Now, annoyingly, I can't have Van Helsing discard mistake before the deck reshuffles. This is another reason why Mina shouldn't have supplied. She should have moved to 59. Then Van Helsing could have put the stake back in the deck, rather than supplying at a small city. Like, we could be in exactly the position we are in now, but only Van Helsing moves before supplying. In order for Van Helsing to supply the whatever it is Mina supplied last turn. Okay, so Dracula has wolf formed from 49. So this is either like 58, maybe a fake wolf form to somewhere silly like 11, 53, 6 or 59, or this is 28, or most likely and most reasonably it's to one of the three ports on the 56, 46 or 3. I must say, given the dark cool, it feels more like the coast. Like, would you really wolf form to 58 and then play dark cool? I mean, maybe. And there's a sense of emergency that would have saved us a renewed vigor. Fine. It's fine. The position is still very winning. Like, we have CG, we have Rufus in play. Dracula's trail is completely non-threatening. We're going to learn where Dracula is right now, or Mina's turn. And it was rats and wolves. Glory. We spent renewed vigor basically on rats. We might as well show our rifle because we're about to show our rifle to the wolves. Okay. Well, we spent renewed vigor on wolves and rats because we feared it was hoax and bats, which does make us look a bit foolish with thinking about trades. Okay, look, Downey has a space. Seward, Mina doesn't have space. I guess we want to take sense of emergency off Mina. And we give her excellent weather for unknown reasons. I guess we're supplying, so we do want to leave Mina with 3 events. We want sense of emergency in case we draw the second renewed vigor and we want to get into a combat. Okay, Dracula isn't in Austria-Hungary. So Dracula is currently in Baltica, and this means the wolf form was either to 28, and then he would have moved to 22, or it was to 56, and he moved to 17, or it was to one of 46, 55, or 3, and then likely he moved to 55. Bucharest is still there. No, and now past Richard is pointing out all of the possibilities as well. And Dracula is working out what to do. Well, while Dracula's doing that, how about we work out what we're doing? Okay, Dracula's moved 3 spaces from the wolf, 2 spaces from the wolf form, and he cleared Bucharest. So it could have been like 56, 17, 10. That feels potentially suicidal, like wolf form is on the trail. But maybe not. Either way, Lord Godalming should check somewhere, and if he checks where Dracula really is, then we get a 3v1. And he also wants to go to Bucharest to pick up an item again, having lost his stake. Not in Bucharest. So the wolf form was not to 28 or 56, because Hyde has been on the trail the entire time. So the wolf form was to 3, 46 or 55, only it can't have been to 55 now, because he's moved 2 spaces since Hyde stood on the trail. So the wolf form was to 46 or 3. I'm not really interested in having a 2v1. Doesn't seem worth it. But also I want my hunters to do something. Yeah, okay. Past me is getting to what I said a couple of minutes ago. Yes, Dracula is currently in 3 or 46. I'm not really interested in having a fight. So let's try and put Seward where I don't think Dracula is. Which I think is 46. I am correct. Not ambushed. That's fine, we can search for that. Yeah, now I don't want to discard the stake because I might actually need that stake. But it's sad. I'd rather that stake was in the deck, so that I could draw it later when I needed it, rather than having to hold on to it until I need it. Yep, hopefully it's not bats, fog. Okay, good. Oh, it's ambushed by fog. Am I about to die? Dracula could move from 3 to 55. You can misdirect Valona. Move to where Mina is. You could neglect to have the day fight, or you could have the day fight. His choice. Yeah, there's nothing to do. There's nothing for Seward to do. Might as well get started on this. Okay. Hoax is gone. Probably didn't need to spend a stake there, given that there's literally nothing to do next turn. And he has an escape route to escape from a night combat. Like he's happy to get delayed by the hoax or the aristocratic vampire, because there's nothing to do. Right, do we need to save Mina? She will have a planned ambush. We decided that we might as well be prepared to try and save Mina. I'm sure he'll leave a lucky find on Seward because he's down an item. No, we decide to hold on to the lucky find for reasons which are unclear to me. Fine. Okay. Dracula is currently in 3. Is he misdirecting Valona? In which case I will be ecstatic about my decision to arm. Okay, I suppose it kind of makes sense. We can use our planned ambush in, say, the day fight. Blow up our heavenly host. Should Dracula choose to walk into Valona? It's Valona, right? Pretty sure it's Valona. Then we can blow up our heavenly host and then use the lucky find. Okay, no misdirect. Our night action was wasted, but that's fine. That's what night actions are for. We still don't need a long night. When will we need a long night? Yep. Give me a weapon. That wasn't a weapon. I have another escape route. I don't need a long night. That's good. This is fine. Just got a Drac event. Could have kept that pistol and lost a stake. Not sure. And good. We're losing another Drac event. That was like perfect event distribution. Like the people that could hold, people that had space to hold more good events got the good events, and everyone else got Drac events. Ticket or rest? Probably don't need the heal, so I'm fine with ticket here. Oh, Logadarian has been trying, he swears. Like every night action, he's taken tickets, and he still had a 3-2 ticket. It's not statistically unreasonable. Right, once again, Van Helsing's like, okay, Dracula, he's anticipating what might happen and trading the events in advance, which is good play. It's just an awful waste of time. Like if he had a 3-2 ticket, like if he had a train ticket, he would be okay. Give him a lucky find to Lord Godalming, because Lord Godalming is short a weapon, and I'd like him to be able to have a weapon if he fails to supply one himself. Okay, and Drac is in Athens, where he is hidden on top of a presumably rumoured vampire. He also vouts both fogs, right? Mina stood on fog and got ambushed, and behind the veil caught a fog earlier. So we've had both fogs. So had he not have gone to the sea, then we could have had a 2v1. Oh, we do have like multiple planned ambushes and lucky finds, so we probably would just take that. Right, so we gave Lord Godalming the sense of emergency. But now there's a hunter event on top. I think it's everyone has a good event. I am just completely choked full of good events. Like, what do you discard? Sense of emergency, lucky find. Money trail, not discarding money trail. Even though it's probably not going to be, no. Like, probably don't need forewarned. It's a tough choice between lucky find and sense of emergency. Ideally, I'd prefer to already have a weapon, and then know I could discard lucky find because I already have a preferably an anti-bat weapon. Okay, can you guys go and deal with Athens, please? It's bats. That's fine. I have plenty of time. There is no encounter in Bologna. Another stake. Great. Well done, Van Helsing. You were supposed to be leaving them. Ah, an evil presence. Just what we needed. Okay, I think Mina has a genuine choice here. She can either tell Seward that he's got time, you handle Athens, or and she goes back towards Munich to be ready for Dracula's landing, or she goes to Paris, goes to Athens along with Seward. If it's a new vampire in 3, then Seward might struggle. Like, I can always give him lucky finds so that he can hopefully find a stake. But there's 2 stakes in the discard, and Van Helsing has 1. So there's 1 stake in the deck. Probably can't find a stake. What do you reckon? Today we'll find get rid of this yellow too? Nope. Impaired by bats. It's fine. Right, now I'm annoyed with the fact that Lord Godalming keeps supplying and he keeps discarding really good events. And then in 10 minutes time, I'm going to realise that this was a mistake. I made this decision because I was annoyed that Lord Godalming had 3 good events and didn't want to discard any of them. So it's given an escape route that I'm happy to discard. But I just took money trail off him. Money trail. Seward has consecrated ground. I want to have money trail before consecrated ground in the initiative order. so that next turn I can play Money Trail, and if it's Adriatic Sea or Black Sea, then I win. So, and I moved Money Trail behind Consecrated Ground in the initiative order, which is frustrating. It's even worse looking back at it now. Okay, Dracula has moved, presumably to the Tyrrhenian, because if he moves to the Adriatic Sea and the Black Sea and I have Money Trail on Consecrated Ground, then I win. And also the Black Sea is close to my hunters. If I just have Money Trail, then I still just win, even if I don't have CG. Yep, so just delayed. Okay, now surely Van Helsing should move here. Like we could then prevent the wolf form to Marseille. I'm thinking about it, and I make the wrong choice. Instead, I discard the last stake. Search and day, as it was the bats. Okay, but if it was a new vampire, it probably wasn't a new vampire. It could have been a new vampire. I was kind of expecting it to be an aristocratic. And so search and day is fine, and if it's a new vampire, I'll just leave combat and get Steward to actually come. And then at night, Dracula is going to move me from Athens to where I want to go. Very funny. Right, and here I realise the mistake I made. I've switched the order on Consecrated Ground. I've switched the order with Money Trail on Consecrated Ground. Now, Drac is clearly in the Tyrrhenian, right? Like, he is nearly always in the Tyrrhenian for fear that I have Money Trail and CG. But if he's not in the Tyrrhenian, if he's in the Adriatic Sea, I can't really punish him. Because I've gone past the CG point. So instead we trade. Who do we trade with? I have no idea. Oh yeah, here we make this is a mistake. It doesn't matter at all because I'm just shuffling events around. But I thought that Mina was gonna have to face the. I thought Valona was going to get led and I was going to get moved. That's not how bats work. So I searched a day. So I get moved to Valona before it becomes led. So I don't need the escape route to run away from a vampire. Okay, Dracula is presumably in the Tyrrhenian Sea. That's where Dracula normally is, right after he goes 2 spaces by sea from the Ionians, from like 46 or 3. So when Dracula lands, we're going to want Van Helsing to go to Marseille. To check if he went there, and I presume he'll be okay if Dracula is there. I think we have an escape route, so we can at least nope out of the combat. But okay, once again, the game is very winning. Like, Dracula's position is so bad. Even with my misplay of not having Running Trail and Consecrated Ground in the right order. And I think also Lord Godalmion's supplies, like, I didn't need to trade to make space for his supply. I could have just had him walk from 10 to 11 a turn earlier. Although that wouldn't actually have changed things by now. The position is very winning. Like, I'd feel confident playing this position against any Dracula player and winning 19 times out of 20, if not more. I've got the good events. Okay, I'm short an RV, but if I keep supplying, I'll find it. I have CG. Dracula was presumably in Maturinian. He's on 9 hit points. Rufus is in play. Wolform is on the trail. It's Monday of week 3. We're gonna hypnosis with Mina because we're an idiot. So Mina is about to play hypnosis. Win at night because she was delayed in day. She could just psychic scan. It achieves exactly the same thing now that I've checked Munich and Marseille. Aha! Lord Godalmion has improved the ticket economy to make up for Van Helsing making it worse. Great. Like a psychic scan for Mina, it's either going to say Dracula is in Baltica or he's not in Baltica. And the spaces that Dracula can reach with his wolf form is Baltica, Italia, or 49. He's not in 49. Is 49 even a lair? Probably is. I can't check now. But presumably 49 is a lair. So I would just save myself a day action by playing. I'd save myself hypnosis and a day action by just psychic scanning. Not Italia was the same. So not in Baltica was the same as in Italia. Now that I've checked 36 and 38. Okay, Dracula feeds. Well, it looks like Cagliari, doesn't it? Which is fine. I mean, he did wolf form, which is a bit, would normally be wolf form, like don't wolf form to Cagliari. So then you can wolf form from the med to actually get to the mainland. Mina's delayed, so we don't need speed telegraph this turn. Okay, so what am I worried about? I'm worried about Dracula gaining access to the mainland. Like, if Dracula is currently in 57 and I vacate 38 and go to somewhere else, then Dracula can walk to Munich and then maybe walk up through Germany. And if I blindly charge towards the bottom of Italy while Dracula does this, that's losing. So I need to not let that happen. I mean, it's possible that he's gone Adriatic will form to Genoa. Not sure why he'd do that. This I think makes a lot of sense. We move Seward to the Adriatic Sea. We just need to make sure he comes out of the Adriatic Sea in the right direction. Like if Dracula's at the bottom of Italy, then coming out in Bari, great. Dracula's in the top of Italy, coming out in Venice, great. Just don't go the wrong way. Oh, I was wrong. We didn't like when Van Helsing went to 36. He didn't have escape route, but he had planned ambush, heavy host and a knife, so he should be okay. Worst case happens, he escapes into claws round one. Okay, we move money trail even later in initiative order. Perfect sense. For some reason, we think that Dracula is currently in Cagliari, or at the bottom of Italy. Which is fairly reasonable, I suppose. And we want to give excellent weather to Lord Godalming so that he can go to Cagliari. Okay, Dracula wasn't in Cagliari. He rumors a vampire, that's fine, I have a stake. He also only has, that's his last rumor token. Like, I've already dealt with 2 rumor tokens. One was on the bats and one was on 49. Speed Telegraph, good decision. And we're just checking 37. If Dracula's gone to 37 and it's going up through Central Europe, we need to not send Seward to Bari. And it's good that we checked. Okay, it's the vampire. I have a stake. I will stake it. Escape into mesmerize. Not great. In fact, round 1, worst possible outcome. But oh well. Punch, dodge, knife, or heavenly host. But can we just say about heavenly host for CG? We are incorrect. Dodge, escape, knife. Knife doesn't kill the vampire because we are mesmerized. I'm very conflicted here. Knife or escape? I was yeah, really struggling to make up my mind. And I made up my mind wrong. Okay, that's sad. I mean, now it's obvious. It's dodge, escape, right? Yep. He cancels, and then we hope that he doesn't have the last fang or the last claw. Good. Okay, just 4 damage and a point. I regret not playing that escape route now, but well. Okay, and Dracula is in 60, 38, or 57. Seward's going to land in 57. If Seward lands on Dracula, presumably that's fine. Yeah, but we can do that before all the down moves. Good. I forgot we had speed turn off and play. Yep, Mina, come help. Dracula is in mainland Europe. Right. Logdamin would, to be honest, rather avoid a 1v1 fight with Dracula. But on the other hand, I do want to narrow down possibilities for where he is. I mean, we got lucky find, maybe we can forewarn, so like, hopefully the fight wouldn't go too badly. Okay, we roll slow. That's okay. I don't mind rolling slow. Didn't really want to fight anyway. Like, ideally, I would have gone to whichever of Zurich and Marseille that Dracula wasn't in, so that I knew that he wasn't there. Okay, all of our stakes are gone, so playing Vampire there will be difficult. Mina has nothing to do. Logdam has nothing to do. Seward has nothing to do. Good. Knight has become easier, apart from Van Helsing's turn where he trades things. Dracula is deciding where he wants to go. I will. Okay. Dracula has nearly finished deciding where he wants to go. Right, so that was one space from 37 and then one more move. So logging down in supplies. He's got his rifle now. He's happy about that. Can he get higher scouts? No, heroic leap. Heroic leap is probably good enough to kill Dracula now. Like he goes down to 5 hit points. He's on 11, so he goes down to 6. It's probably enough. Okay, he didn't start in Zurich. So he went to Munich, and then he's gone up to one more space. Van Helsing has escape route, so he can poke his head somewhere, or he can just supply to get another item. It was a useless item. Mina also has escape route, so she can again poke somewhere and check if he's moved from Munich to there. And we could if he is in Vienna, we move to Vienna. We escape route out of combat because we have no interest in fighting Dracula. We then can't play. We can play CG and immediately win because we could CG 44, 58, 59, 11, and then Dracula is forced to walk to 38, and he hasn't got fog because he hasn't reshuffled his deck yet and he used both of them. Or used one of them was discarded by behind the veil. So we can check 58, and if we poke correctly and find him in 58, then he dies. Because we can have a 4v1 in 38, where he hasn't got fog. Okay, he didn't go towards the east, which is kind of, it was a good thing to check also, because if he had have gone to 58 and I don't check it, the next turn he can go to 11, and then I can't stop him from running east with CG. Like, he can always get to Klausenberg, and I can't get all of my hunters to Klausenberg very easily, because some idiot discarded or played Renewed Vigor to deal with some rats. That's fine, I still don't regret that decision. Do you want to heal? Do you want to give someone else planned ambush? Okay, healing up to more than 4 hit points, so he doesn't die to a single claw. Dracula left 38 and went to. Dracula might not have left 30. He might have hidden. The second location is 41, 38, or 57. Sorry, that's not what I meant. First, he went to Munich. Then he went to either 41, 38, or 57. And then he's moved one more time from there. Didn't go through Strasbourg. Interesting. Like he might have still gone to 41. Maybe 41, 30 or 41, 21. The thing is, he needs to get to the coast somehow. Because currently he's stuck in land without his all form. Surrounded by 4 hunters. So he needs to get to the coast. And he didn't choose to go through Strasbourg, which I guess makes sense because it's not the quickest way to the coast. Like 41, 30, 27. Okay, okay, he didn't go through Germany. Good. I was considering moving Seward to somewhere else in Germany to try and land directly on his head. Very glad I didn't. So Dracula now with his the third spot on the trail is Munich. The second point on the trail is Munich or 57. And the third point on the trail is either 59, 57, 25 or 20. Moreover, we find out precisely Drac's location. Okay, assuming Dracula hasn't gone from 57 to 20, like no one goes to Florence, right? Not without your form. Then we entirely learn Drac's location by moving Van Helsing to 57. Frick, and he was actually in 57. And we have a new vampire fight. Do we escape route? We can have a 2v1 with an 11 HP Dracula. Now Rufus is in play, and we can play CG to force Dracula to go to C next turn. In which case he's taken at least 2 damage from Adriatic, 2 damage from Ionian. And yeah, like 1 damage to all form if he wants to actually survive. So if I can get 5 damage on him, 5 or 6 in this combat, then we should be fine. And I have great strength. Mina wasn't ambushed. That's fine. I was going to probably use my escape route to get out of the ambush. Happy to keep my escape route. Yeah, and I'm checking here. If at night Dracula doesn't escape as that, I get to play CG and put the 2 heavenly hosts that aren't in this combat in Florence and what's it called, Genoa, the other space that's adjacent to this place and doesn't have a hunter or wolf form on it, which would force Dracula to go to sea or instantly die. Claws. Yep, okay, let's get some damage in because I don't care if I die. No, let's dodge claws. Okay, that's a choice. Aren't we happy to go to 1 HP or death? I suppose we can always play Heavenly Host now, or Knife. Heavenly Host into Fangs is probably losing though. And I claimed earlier I could win this, 95% of the time. So probably don't play Heavenly Host if you truly believe. Three damage is going to be enough. If only one... Okay, if he plays Claws, I'm very happy. I get 6 damage. And then I can just leave combat or prevent escape as bat and win the game. Dracula will be forced to sea and he'll die in the Ionian Sea. Or he'll die when he tries to leave the Ionian Sea. Strength, I get 3 damage taken to 7 HP. But then all of my hunters are still can't be killed in one shot. I still can't be clawed to death because I have great strength. So I still think the position is very good, and yeah. So let me try and justify my decision. I moved Van Helsing to 50 to Venice, not because I wanted to find Dracula, and not because I was expecting to find Dracula. I was expecting Dracula to have moved and snuck past Mina, like hidden in Munich and moved to after Mina moved upwards to then move into the space just vacated by Mina. Okay, this is good. This was the knife into claws that we said we were very happy with. We now get 6 damage. And now we just leave the combat. And we don't care if Drax on 6 HP. No, don't punch, you idiot. Right, this should be Heavenly Host and Escape. If Dracula doesn't play Fangs into Van Helsing, then I win the game. If Dracula does play Fangs into Van Helsing, Dracula heals up to 6. I don't die because I play Great Strength. This Great Strength is preventing the damage, not the bite. And Mina escapes. Dracula's heals up to 6. I play CG. Dracula is forced into the sea, where he takes 2 damage for going to the Ionian. So 2 damage for going into the Ionian. He then wolf forms onto 1 HP to Sophia, where one of my hunters will meet him. Instead, I punch. Okay, it's now round 4. Dracula knows that I have horse and knife. I've just blundered the game, potentially, unless I win a rock, paper, scissors. Like, if Dracula can escape this turn. Because if Dracula plays escape as bat, I really might lose the game. Dracula knows I have knife. I'm now trying to win at rock, paper, scissors. Please don't escape as bat on me. And as soon as if I ever play knife, then he knows I only have 1 knife, so we can play escape as bat immediately after that, which is very bad. like maybe I still win, like even if Dracula escapes his bat. Like I mean, presumably I do, because ultimately the board positioning isn't threatening. He's hidden in Munich. He's got 0 points. I should avoid dying. I am mesmerized, so I want to play something that cancels fangs. Obviously not punch. But I need to guess correctly whether he's planning to escape his bat this turn or next turn. He escapes his mist. Absolutely fine. I win. Good. So I was doing well until Mina decided to punch. But we got away with it. And like we still probably win even if Dracula does escape his bat. Like it's not that bad. But then we have a game on our hands. This should just be like, I'm not even sure we need to play CG, but I don't want Dracula to move to 25 and then like have his wolf form next turn, and for me not be able to kill him in 25. So Dracula can Dark Cool in place and have a 2v1 combat at dawn. He might get a kill. Probably doesn't. Maybe he does. But then surely Seward can kill him in the night fight. With Mina, who won't be dead yet. Mina's gonna loot Van Helsing's corpse. Give me those knives. You haven't got enough health to do anything with them. Sure, we'll also entrust you with a white one ticket in case you die. I lose my horse. Fine, I won't leave my horse if you die. Okay, so Dracula can stay in place and die. We've already cleared Milan. Or he can go to Adriatic. He could then wolf form out of the Adriatic onto 4 HP. I would know that he was landing in southern Italy, because presumably I will have hunters near 25 who will be able to clear that location. Like we'll be able to check that he's not wolf formed to 25 or 20. So I'll know he's wolf formed into southern Italy, and I can just charge and kill him. Or he's going Ionian, like Adriatic Ionian. He takes 4 damage from Rufus. He can't wolf form. He has to land in 46 or 3. 3 is suicide, but might score 3 points from hide. 46, he then needs to go to 50. So 46, he then needs to either walk to 50 or feed, and then next turn wolf form. And I have forewarned, so even if he manages to pull fog by the time he gets to the Ionian Sea, I'll be able to walk to 46 with forewarned. So I think it's completely winning. Unlike the position when just after Mina punched, where I might have lost. Because I made a mistake. Yeah, it's funny. It's like Van Helsing plays Heavenly Host, the card which is famous for being good against every card apart from Fangs. Dracula plays Fangs. And what am I annoyed about? I'm annoyed not with Van Helsing's decision to play Heavenly Host, but with Mina's decision to punch. Okay. Lord Godalming, what are you doing? Presumably moving towards 25. Because I want you to be standing on 25 or 37 next turn. Yeah, presumably you move to 37. So that if Dracula Wolf forms from the Adriatic Sea, which you can do next turn, you can move to 25, and this checks all of northern Italy that's sort of escaping the net. I feel we might as well clear out the vampires. And also I plan to give Seward excellent weather to go to 46 with. Okay, we're that's kind of funny. Send Van Helsing to stand in 25 to tell us if Dracula goes there. That is quite funny. Do I do it? Or do I? Yes. I don't know. Yes. Okay. I'm standing there to prevent the wolf form from the Adriatic Sea to 25. I mean, Dracula can do it, but then I kill him, which I'm fine with. We search in day would mean Seward becomes delayed. We have 3 knives, so how about we play a knife? We do 3 damage each. Not really concerned about the damage that Dracula does back to me. You know, like Seward is here, we can heal at night, you know. Slicey dicey. Okay. Dracula can't misdirect Munich because Hyde is there. Look down and you can just pass. Don't know why I'm thinking. We need to give the excellent weather to Seward. So despite Van Helsing being on 2 hit points, you tell him he doesn't need hit points. The Seward needs the excellent weather in order to go towards 46. Right, Dracula's choices. Wolf form or not wolf form, just regular move into 5. In which case Seward will excellent weather onto his head, or not onto his head if he wolf formed. And then I guess he feeds, but he hasn't got fog, so he hasn't even had a chance at having fog, and I know he doesn't have fog. So he's not actually going to be able to stay on land, you have to go to sea. No, he chooses the longer suicide. Okay, it's now Sunday, so he doesn't score points for landing. And he will have to land next turn. And you will have to do so in 46 or 3. I decide I might as well deal with what's in 38, because that way Dracula can't stall out the game in 3 and hope that his thing matures and saves him. Seward needs the forewarned, so that this turn he can go to, I can't see the number, Valona. 35, 55. Presumably it's 55 given it starts with letter V. Um, yeah, so Seward needs the excellent weather to go to Valona, and he needs to forewarn so that the turn after he can go. He doesn't need the forewarned. He does need the forewarned. Dracula just drew a card off the. Dracula could have just 1 in 20 chance have fog, so he could land in. I don't know any other names anymore. He could land in Salonika with fog, with a 5% chance. There is a reckless vampire, and unfortunately we have nothing which cancels fangs. And all I really care about is blocking the fangs. But let's try and get out of this combat without conceding the point. Now that I say that, why didn't I skip all of this by just playing Heavenly Host? Then if he plays Fang, like Heavenly Host is just better than Escape here. Like if he plays Fangs, he scores a point, but he scores a point against Escape as well. And then the combat ends, which is better than. I discard Heavenly Host and the combat ends, which is better than the combat continuing, where the Dracula might score enough point. Yeah, give me that forewarned and that work loop. I should take the excellent weather as well, just so that I could hide these cards, and so that I should take the excellent weather and also give the excellent weather to Stewart. Partly so that Dracula doesn't know what Stewart has, and partly because the excellent weather could be useful to Stewart. You're going to escape route out of the No, we're not going to escape out of the. I think we're just going to play straight knives into the reckless vamp. So we escape route into the That's not a knife. Why am I trying to concede points? I appreciate punch is better against mesmerize than knife, but okay, I think I did have a read that Drac was going to play mesmerize, and I wanted to punch to mesmerize, but still didn't make any difference. Drac didn't play Fangs, so I didn't concede a point. Great, Munich is dealt with. We trade with Seward. Here, have this stuff I have nicked from Godalming and give me that vampire there. Not that I have any stakes. My friends are going to have to supply a bunch to try and find a stake. But we're going to have to supply 15 items before you can get a stake. That's like 4 turns. Yeah, and Drac is now needing 46 or 3. 3 is suicide. He misdirects Vienna for unknown reasons. It doesn't make any difference. There we go. Just fast forward a bit. He has landed in 46 or 3. He now scores points for moving. If he's in 3, he can't hide this turn. My hunters are slowly looking for a stake. Apart from Stewart, who's going to kill Dracula. He is forewarned in case there's a 5% chance of fog, and he's not in 46. He's committing suicide in 3. Fine, but he'll get 3 points for committing suicide if I let him. So I guess we will supply for the stake. Now, even here, when Van Helsing just supplied, he should have traded with Lord Godalming for Lord Godalming's excellent weather, so that he could at night trade that to Seward, so that in day tomorrow Seward doesn't need to roll horses to go from 46 to 3. Yeah, at this point I realise that I'm relying on a 7 in 8 chance for Seward to roll horses in order to prevent the hide in Athens. Now, if the hide does happen, Dracula scores 3 points, but I'll then have enough time. I can just let Dracula suicide. I can play Vampire Lair, so it's only actually worth 1 point on IDS. But yeah, I should have traded around the excellent weather to let Seward move from 46 to 3. Yep, the feed we might as well supply and look for the stake. Well, there isn't a stake in the deck, but eventually we'll run out of space in the deck and we'll reshuffle it, and there'll be 4 stakes in there then. Roll horses, kill Dracula. Yes, 2 IDS is letting Dracula get to 2 influence is worse than letting Dracula get to 1 influence. So try and roll horses. Yep. It doesn't matter. I'll show him that we had forewarned. And heroically to win. Good. Well played. I'll catch you in the next one.